Well, I'm going to be making a lasagna roll-up. And so for everybody
Okay.
that like, I can't make lasagna, it's too hard, it takes too much time. This is a very simple recipe. I've made this myself. I like to make new recipes. I've made it with ground sausage, but this one is just spinach. So it's spinach and cheese. You roll it all up with a good marinara sauce. And of course, I'm using our new Voilà glass. The glassware is amazing. This is the 9 by 13, so it's gonna make 12 roll-ups. And when people use the Voilà glass, they have a tendency not to know how to suction this down. They like it might the lid still comes off. You have to open up the little venti thing and then press it down, and that suctions it on. So then it's on. So make sure you're telling people about that. It's an important part of the voila. And so we are going to start making this recipe. It's so easy to do, especially with all the Tupperware products. We have it comes, you want to use one container of ricotta. You want to add in some Italian seasonings, and of course, the recipe, I just sort of eyeballed it and I just put some in there. And then blocks of mozzarella. So you want to grind up the mozzarella. I already ground up one in a wonderful cheese grater that makes the shredded cheese so easy to use. Lock it down on this beautiful counter and it comes right on out. You can press this down with the presser. Scoop some of this out. I already did one. It calls for two blocks of mozzarella. And also Parmesan. And they didn't really give a measurement for this recipe, but I think a third of a cup of Parmesan is good. And one beaten egg. You don't have to beat the egg ahead of time. I just think it makes it easier to incorporate all of that in there. We're going to mix this up a little bit. Make a mess while I'm doing it. That's the rule of cooking.
Good cook.
I'm making a mess, so that's got to be good. And then I'm also going to add in the spinach. Now you have to have the spinach, the frozen kind, not the fresh kind, and you squeeze out all the moisture. So I've already squeezed out all the moisture. All right, I hope I have. And you put it into the recipe. Then I'm going to mix this up. And I like to make these kind of recipes for my family, Tammy and I, and then I freeze the other portions. And for my father-in-law, Tammy's dad, he doesn't like to cook at all, openly admitted it. So since I like to cook, I can make him some good food, so he doesn't have to eat horrible frozen dinners. I found out one day he was eating frozen dinners. I'm like, oh God, no, this can't happen. So there we go. What's going on? So you can see this is a pretty easy peasy recipe to put together. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to add in the marinara sauce into the voila. The voila. That's all I like saying. Put a good marinara sauce at the bottom. You're just going to put a little in so that your lasagna roll-ups don't stick to the bottom of the pan. Don't have to grease glass, but you don't want it. You want them in a bed of marinara. Doesn't have to have meat in it. So this is definitely a meatless meal. So I already made the lasagna noodles. You cook them ahead of time, you drain them, and then you're all set. Then you can take your ricotta cheese mixture with the spinach, and you're gonna put some of that in here. I'm gonna take my little spatula. And you just put a little, spread it out with this spatula onto the lasagna noodle. Don't press too hard. And so that there's mixture on the whole noodle. Just like that. Here we go. And it said for me to put a little bit of marinara in there too. So this will take the most time, is putting together these rolls. So I'm just going to show you a couple, and then I'll show you the final product. So then all you have to do is roll it up. And this makes easy portion control too. You can just have like one. So it says to put them down, seam side down. So there we go. So we'll do a bunch of those. We'll do all 12 of those. And I'm going to bake it in the oven at 350 for half an hour. You could do tandem cooking where you start it off in the microwave and then you finish it in the oven so all the cheese gets all bubbly. So depending on your time constraints, that might be something that some families are like, I don't have all this time to put this together. You could do the tandem cooking because it's glass. So you could do a variety of ways of cooking a good meal that way too. So we'll come back in, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, and hopefully we'll show you what it looks like in the oven.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Not
That looks
completely
so
done yet.
yummy.
I know. She's going to put it back in the oven so we can eat it whenever we're done.
Okay, yum.